Hey guys, welcome to Tarot Talks, reading the Major Arcana, episode 4, Emperor 4. So today we got Tewa's rune on the bottom, looks like a straight up arrow or a phallus. This is a very male oriented reading. If you look at these cards, we have Sun in Aries, which is also a very, very masculine planetary or astrological alignment. We have the Aries, the Emperor, and then we also have the Knight of Wands. So we got a lot of fire going on here. And the Tehuwaz rune is actually the assigned element is air. So air and fire are compatible elements because air feeds fire. So what we have here is, I would think if someone is coming to you for advice, this is a strong reading. This is about strength and this is about will, endurance, and it's honestly about killing it. Like, knights are warriors, and the Knight of Wands is ready to go into battle. Like, his horse is rearing up, he's ready to go. There's no issues with it. He's like, what's good? And I feel like he's facing the Emperor. So I feel like there's a really good partnership there as far as strength goes. Like, you're going to rule it, you're going to kill it. And 3 is all about multiplication, as we learned with the Empress. It's about the multiplying of the Holy Trinity. So this card, Sun in Aries, it comes right after, obviously, the Two of Wands, where the king in training is just discovering his realm, his kingdom, and the power that he holds in his own hands. And now he's about to go use it. So this is all about action. The Wands cards are very, very active. They're about taking responsibility, doing what's right, just going for it, following the heart, following the will. And the Tehuwaz room is very much about justice and doing what's right. So pointing to the Emperor, the Emperor is all about stability. Number 4 is where you hit the wall, basically. And I think it's actually pictured very well in the way that Roman numerals are written. So you have the I itself for 1, you have the double pillars for 2, and then obviously the triple pillars for 3, and then 4, you have the I, and then the V appears out of nowhere, almost like a wall. And when you get to the 6 on the other side, the I is on the other side of the 5. So I think that's very interesting, and it is actually a picture of the change that you get in numerology, because when you get to 4, you're stable, and you could choose to stay there in comfort, and then eventually comfort becomes complacency. So comfort is always it feels good at first, but you have to move past it at some point. Even when you say you hit the lottery for like $10 million, you're going to chill with that money for a while. You're going to travel, you're going to do all those things. And then spending money and traveling isn't going to be productive to you anymore, and you're going to have to find a way to maintain that financial status, and you're going to have to start investing in things and maybe like planning the rest of your life or planning where that money is going to go for the future. So that is the next step after becoming comfortable and after becoming established. You have to keep going, because that's life. Nothing stays the same. You could choose to make it stay the same, but a lot of times when we do that in our life, we start to hit walls. Our health begins to fail, our financial status begins to fail, our relationships begin to fail, because we're not putting work into the areas that need work. We're just wanting everything to stay the same. So the Emperor is good at first. It means you're killing shit and you finally got to where you need to go. But it is a reminder that you do need to still be active and productive and take action in life. So this is a really good reading in love. It could signify that there is a male fire sign coming this person's way. Again, it's a very male-oriented reading. So if it's a male asking if they're going to meet a woman, there may be some trips, some travel, because these 2 cards on the end, they very much denote travel. He's about to go somewhere and discover possibilities and use his power, and this guy's ready to go to war. So this could mean we're moving towards something. You may actually just go out and meet somebody. So it looks like there's things moving and there's things happening and it's coming to a head. as this is pointing to the emperor, like you're going to win, you're going to be stable, and you're going to get to that point. So if it when it comes to love, when it comes to money, again, this is a very strong reading. There's a lot of passion here, travel as well. You definitely, if someone's like, hey, am I going to be able to take this trip? Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's that. We're going to switch out the cards. We get a good shuffle going here. All right. There's another air. And there's cups. Okay. So if I get this in a reading, this reading is going to be, I feel like it's more like a warning. Like, don't be foolish. Calm yourself down. Because I feel like the energy between the king and the emperor, I feel like kings would always want the emperor's position. They always want to rule more kingdoms. They always want to expand. Kingdoms are isolated to one area, whereas empires span over multiple countries, multiple cultures. So I feel like this could be a reading about differences between family members, some type of conflict, and also the Page of Cups always means that there's emotions involved. So we could say, hey, take a minute, slow down, cowboy, because we have the Teiwaz rune with the emperor. I'm sorry, I'm like, if you could hear that noise over there, it is my cat licking my glass cabinet, and I'm like, I keep looking over at her like, dude, really? Anyway, so we have this feeling of stopping to think for a second and not just jumping into action. Whenever I get the King of Swords, he is the judge. The king, he's the person that swings the sword. He is the person that provides the sentence for criminals. That's what I think as the King of Swords. So whenever I get a reading and people ask about like court cases and things like that, whenever swords show up, they're very problematic. They always denote the law, the sign of Libra. They are about justice. And so is Teiwaz. Teiwaz is about justice, doing the straight and narrow thing, doing what's right, even though it feels like shit, because the right choice is always the hardest. And that's why people are always conflicted about what to do, because they know it's right. They just don't want to do it. So the pages are always related to the fool. There's some type of foolishness that's going on. You might be feeling very petty, and you should examine your feelings. Pages are always examining their instrument. They're always in a state of learning their element. So I feel like this is very much about just taking it slow and calming your ego. It's very ego driven. That's what I feel like. There's a mixture of emotions and what's going on in the head. And sometimes the heart is very foolish. And this could be also like, watch out for this guy. Watch out for this person. I feel like they could be foolish with your heart. Don't jump in so quick. Don't be so emotionally invested in this person, because it looks like you guys need to slow down a little bit. So I feel like there also could be an element of mourning there. So it doesn't feel like, this is what I'm saying about getting used to the feelings that you get when you get cards. It's an intuitive art. So someone else might look at this totally different. And that doesn't mean it's right or wrong. You have to remember, we're communicating with the energies of the universe, and we're all different beings. So the way someone reads cards is going to be different to the way that you read cards. And a lot of times the meanings do very much stand on their own. They're the same, but you have to remember you're adding other elements with other cards. So that's how we get to the conclusion, I think, as unique readers, is because we're following the intuition. We're following the feeling that we get when we see these cards together and the energy that it invokes within us. And then we just go from there. So again, this feels like, don't be foolish, use your head, slow down, and be diplomatic, basically. So ultimately, the emperor overrides the king. So I just think this is like, get it together, balance out the energies, take time away before you make a decision, that type of thing. It definitely feels like that type of reading. So that's it for the Emperor 4. That concludes this. Next, we go into the fives, which is my spiritual number, my life path number. So we'll talk about that in the next video, and I'll see you soon. Have a great day.